The stars looked different through the viewing screen of the battleship Dominion's Edge. Commander Taiho stood with his hands behind his back, watching the small blue planet grow larger as they approached. 3 years of travel through deep space had brought them to this unremarkable solar system. The planet looked peaceful from this distance. Almost too peaceful. "Commander, we are receiving multiple radio signals from the surface," said Communications Officer Junho. He adjusted his headset and frowned at the data flowing across his screen. "The signals are primitive, but organized. They seem to have basic technology." Taiho nodded slowly. This was exactly what the Galactic Trade Federation expected. Another young civilization that needed guidance. Another world that would benefit from Federation leadership. The pattern was always the same. First contact, then negotiation, then peaceful integration into the galactic community. If they refused integration, well, the Federation had methods to encourage cooperation. "What do our scans show about their military capabilities?" Taiho asked. Tactical Officer Minji looked up from her station. She had been studying the planet for weeks during their approach. Her reports were always thorough and accurate. "Very limited, Commander. They use chemical rockets for space travel. Their weapons are mostly projectile-based with some nuclear capability. Their largest cities show no energy shields or advanced defensive systems." Taiho smiled. This would be easier than he thought. The last 3 worlds they had encountered put up much more resistance. One species had actually managed to damage 2 Federation ships before surrendering. This Earth seemed to have no real defenses at all. "What about their biology?" he asked xenobiologist Sumin. Sumin pulled up her detailed scans on the main screen. "Fascinating species, Commander. They call themselves humans. They are carbon-based with very basic physical capabilities. No natural armor, no enhanced strength, poor sensory systems compared to most galactic species. They seem to have evolved with very few natural advantages." The bridge crew chuckled at this information. Evolution usually favored the strong. Species that survived long enough to develop technology were typically tough, well-armed by nature, or highly intelligent. These humans seemed to be none of those things. "How did such a weak species become dominant on their planet?" Minji asked. "They appear to use tools and work in groups," Suman replied. "Basic pack-hunting behavior, though not very sophisticated. Their individual combat abilities are quite poor. A single Federation soldier could easily handle dozens of them." Taiho felt satisfied with this assessment. The Federation had conquered much stronger species than these humans. Species with natural weapons, advanced technology, or superior intelligence. If humans had none of these advantages, integration would be simple. "Sir, we are detecting their space stations and satellites," Junho reported. "They have several small research stations in orbit, very primitive construction. Should we disable them?" "Not yet," Taiho decided. "We want them to know we could disable their technology, but we will show mercy. Fear and gratitude make for better cooperation than just fear alone." The Dominion's Edge moved into a stable orbit above the planet. Other Federation ships took positions around the globe. Their cloaking technology kept them hidden for now. The humans would see them when the Federation chose to reveal themselves. "Commander, I am detecting something unusual in the biological data," Sumin said. She sounded puzzled. "The evolutionary patterns on this planet are very strange." "Strange? How?" Taiho asked. "Most worlds develop relatively peaceful ecosystems once intelligence emerges. Predator and prey reach balance. But this planet shows continuous aggressive evolution. The life forms seem to be in constant competition with each other. Very unusual patterns." Minji looked up from her tactical display. "Are you saying their planet is dangerous?" Suman shrugged. "Not dangerous to us, of course. Our technology and natural advantages make us superior to any primitive life form. But the competition level seems much higher than normal. It might explain why the humans developed pack behavior." Taiho considered this information. High competition environments sometimes produced interesting results. Warriors, survivors, beings who adapted quickly to new challenges. But these humans showed no signs of being warriors. Their military technology was laughably primitive. Their physical capabilities were weak. Whatever competitive pressures existed on their world, the humans had clearly won through luck rather than strength. "Sir, incoming transmission from the planet's surface," Junho announced. "They are using basic radio frequencies. The signal is directed at our position." This was sooner than expected. Usually it took primitive species several days to detect Federation ships, even when they wanted to be found. "Put it through," Taeho ordered. A human face appeared on the screen. The creature looked nervous but was trying to appear calm. It had the weak features typical of species that evolved without significant predator pressure. Soft skin, small teeth, eyes positioned for general use rather than hunting or defense. "Unknown vessels, this is President Ji-won of the United Earth Coalition. We have detected your ships in our solar system. We mean no harm and request peaceful contact." Taeho smiled. "Perfect. The humans were already showing submission. This would make everything much easier. President Ji-won, I am Commander Taeho of the Galactic Trade Federation. We come in peace to offer your species membership in our galactic community." The human's face showed relief. "We are honored by your offer, Commander. We would welcome the chance to learn from your advanced civilization. Might we arrange a meeting?" "Of course," Taeho replied. "We will send representatives to your surface within the day. Please prepare a suitable location for our diplomatic team." "We will be ready," President Ji-won said. "Thank you for this opportunity." The transmission ended. Taeho felt pleased with how smoothly first contact had gone. No threats, no demands for proof of peaceful intentions, no attempts to hide or flee. The humans seemed eager to please their new galactic neighbors. "Sir, should we prepare the standard integration packages?" Minji asked. "Yes, but keep them simple," Taeho replied. "This species seems very cooperative. We may not need the usual pressure tactics. A few demonstrations of our superior technology should be enough to secure their complete cooperation." Sumin was still studying her biological data. "Commander, I would like to request additional scanning time before we make surface contact. Some of these evolutionary patterns are very unusual. I want to make sure we understand what we are dealing with." "You have 6 hours," Taeho told her. "But do not delay our schedule. This integration should be completed within the month. The Federation Council expects quick results from such primitive species." As the Dominion's Edge prepared for surface contact, none of the Federation crew noticed the careful way President Ji-won had phrased her responses. None of them caught the brief smile that crossed her face when she thought the transmission had ended, and none of them realized that every human government on Earth was already implementing protocols that had been planned for decades. The Federation had made first contact with Earth, but Earth had been preparing for first contact much longer than they knew. Far below on the planet's surface, deep in secure bunkers around the world, military commanders were receiving a single coded message. 3 words that would change everything. The monsters were coming. The Federation landing craft touched down on the concrete platform in what the humans called New York City. Commander Taeho stepped out first, followed by his diplomatic team. The air tasted strange compared to the recycled atmosphere of their ship. It carried scents that his species had never encountered before. Hundreds of humans waited behind metal barriers to watch the historic meeting. They seemed excited rather than afraid. Many held up small devices to record the event. Their behavior struck Taeho as remarkably calm for a species meeting aliens for the first time. President Ji-won approached with a group of human officials. She wore formal clothing and moved with careful dignity. Behind her walked a tall human male who introduced himself as Dr. Hyungwoo, Earth's lead scientist for alien contact protocols. "Welcome to Earth, Commander Taeho," President Ji-won said, with a slight bow. "We are honored by your visit." Taeho returned the gesture. The humans seemed to understand proper respect for superior beings. This was going even better than he had hoped. "Thank you for your hospitality, President Ji-won. The Federation looks forward to a long partnership with your species." Dr. Hyungwoo stepped forward with obvious excitement. "Commander, we have so many questions about your technology and your people. Would it be possible to arrange cultural and scientific exchanges? Of course, Taiho replied. We believe in sharing knowledge with our new galactic neighbors. The next few weeks passed smoothly. The Federation established a temporary base in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. The location was isolated, but allowed easy access for both human and alien vessels. The humans seemed impressed by how quickly the Federation could construct advanced facilities. Tactical Officer Minji spent her time observing human military operations. President Jiwan had given the Federation complete access to watch their armed forces train. Minji found their methods primitive but interesting from a historical perspective. The human soldiers moved in predictable formations. Their weapons fired simple metal projectiles that would barely scratch Federation armor. Their vehicles were slow and used inefficient chemical engines. Even their aircraft seemed clumsy compared to Federation technology. Their tactics are very basic, Minji reported to Commander Taiho. They rely on overwhelming numbers and basic firepower. No energy weapons, no personal shields, no advanced targeting systems. A standard Federation occupation force of 50,000 troops would easily control this entire planet. Taiho nodded with satisfaction. What about their space capabilities? Almost nothing, Minji replied. They have a few small stations in orbit and some exploration vehicles on nearby planets. Their fastest ships take months to travel distances. We cover in days. If they tried to resist integration, we could disable their entire space program in hours. Meanwhile, Dr. Yongwu was giving Federation scientists tours of human cities. He showed them hospitals where humans treated their sick and injured. He explained human education systems and cultural achievements. The aliens found it all rather quaint. Your species seems very focused on caring for weak individuals, observed xenobiologist Sumin during one tour. Most civilized species allow natural selection to strengthen their population. Dr. Hyungwoo smiled politely. We believe every human life has value. We have learned that sometimes the weakest among us contribute in unexpected ways. The Federation scientists found this attitude amusing but harmless. Primitive species often held such inefficient beliefs before joining galactic civilization. Education and proper guidance would eventually correct these ideas. During their conversations, Dr. Hyungwoo asked many questions about Federation biology and technology. He seemed particularly curious about how different alien species had evolved and what kinds of environments they came from. Most Federation worlds are quite peaceful, Suman explained. Our species evolved in stable environments with limited competition. This allowed us to develop intelligence and technology without wasting resources on survival struggles. How fascinating, Dr. Yongwoo said. And what would you consider a dangerous creature from your worlds? Suman thought for a moment. Well, on my home planet, we had creatures about the size of your domestic cats. They had sharp teeth and could climb trees. Our ancestors considered them quite threatening until we developed tools. Dr. Yongwoo nodded thoughtfully. I see. That must have been challenging for your early civilization. What the Federation team did not know was that every human leader, scientist and military officer, had received detailed briefings about their visitors. Earth's governments had been preparing for contact with alien civilizations for decades. They had run countless simulations and developed careful protocols for exactly this situation. President Jiwan met daily with her Security Council in rooms the Federation could not monitor. Human technology might seem primitive, but their understanding of physics was more advanced than the aliens realized. They had developed quantum communication methods that were completely undetectable to Federation sensors. The aliens are exactly what we expected, reported General Minwoo during one secret meeting. They come from worlds with no real predators. They have never faced serious evolutionary pressure. Their entire civilization is built around technological superiority rather than adaptability. What about their military capabilities? Asked President Jiwan. Impressive but specialized, the general replied. Their weapons and armor are designed to fight other technology-based civilizations. They seem to have no experience with biological, warfare, or environmental threats. Dr. Yongji, Earth's chief military strategist, had been studying Federation ship designs during her cultural exchanges. The aliens were proud to show off their advanced vessels to primitive humans who seemed amazed by their technology. Their ships are powerful but vulnerable, she reported. They rely completely on energy shields and metal armor. Their life support systems are designed for sterile environments. Most importantly, they have no protection against biological agents. The BU Federation crew noticed none of this intelligence gathering. They saw only curious humans asking innocent questions about alien culture and technology. Dr. Hyungwoo was particularly good at appearing fascinated by simple explanations of Federation science. After 3 months of peaceful contact, Commander Taeho felt ready to move to the next phase. The humans had proven cooperative and eager to learn. They showed proper respect for Federation superiority. Most importantly, they seemed to understand that resistance would be futile. Prepare the demonstration, he ordered Minji. It is time to show the humans the full extent of our capabilities. The demonstration was a standard Federation procedure. When integrating a new species, it was important to display overwhelming technological superiority. This prevented future rebellions and made the transition to galactic citizenship much smoother. On the appointed day, Federation warships decloaked above every major human city. The massive vessels hung in the sky like metal mountains, their hulls gleaming in the sunlight. The psychological impact was always the same. Primitive species would look up at the ships and realize that resistance was impossible. Human crowds gathered in the streets to stare at the alien vessels. News broadcasts showed people pointing at the sky with expressions of awe and wonder. Some humans fell to their knees as if worshipping the advanced technology above them. Commander Taeho watched the feeds with satisfaction. Perfect reaction, he told his crew. They understand our superiority. But in secure bunkers around the world, human military leaders were recording every detail of the alien ships. Advanced sensors measured energy signatures, structural weak points, and weapon capabilities. The seemingly primitive humans were gathering intelligence with the patience of natural-born hunters. The Federation had successfully demonstrated their power. What they did not realize was that humanity had been demonstrating something too. They had shown the aliens exactly what they wanted to see while hiding their true nature completely. The peaceful phase was almost over. Soon the real test would begin. The Federation ships had been visible in Earth's skies for 3 months. Commander Taeho felt pleased with how the humans were responding to their presence. There had been no riots, no attempts to attack the alien vessels, no demands for the Federation to leave. Instead, the humans seemed to accept their new place in the galactic order. President Jiwon requested another meeting with the Federation leadership. She arrived at the Pacific base looking concerned but respectful. Commander Taeho, our people are eager to learn more about galactic civilization. We hope to prove ourselves worthy of membership. Your cooperation has been noted, Taeho replied. However, the Federation requires certain demonstrations before full integration can begin. What kind of demonstrations? President Jiwon asked. Taeho activated a holographic display showing Federation technology. Your species must understand the benefits of joining our community. We will begin with small improvements to your infrastructure, better communications, improved transportation, enhanced medical technology. What he did not mention was that each improvement would make Earth more dependent on Federation systems. Once the humans relied on alien technology for their basic needs, any thoughts of rebellion would become impossible. The first demonstration came the next day. Federation ships used focused energy beams to disable every satellite orbiting Earth. The action took less than an hour. Human television broadcasts went dark. Internet connections failed. Phone networks stopped working. The psychological impact was exactly what Taeho expected. The humans realized how easily the Federation could cripple their civilization. Within hours, President Jiwon was requesting emergency meetings to discuss cooperation. We understand your power, she told Taeho. Please, restore our communications. Our people need to coordinate emergency services. Taeho let her wait for 2 days before restoring the satellites. The delay sent a clear message. The Federation controlled Earth's technology now. They could take it away whenever they chose. During This time, Dr. Yongji made an interesting request. She asked permission to visit Federation ships for cultural exchange programs. The aliens agreed, thinking it would be educational for the primitive humans to see advanced technology up close. Dr. Yongji toured the Dominion's edge with wide eyes and obvious amazement. She asked simple questions about how the ship worked and marveled at the advanced systems. The Federation crew enjoyed showing off their superiority to such an appreciative audience. "How do your weapons work?" Dr. Yongji asked during the tour. "These are particle beam cannons," explained Weapons Officer Kyungmin. "They can destroy your largest cities in seconds. The energy required is more than your entire planet produces in a year." "Incredible," Dr. Yongji said. "And your defensive systems?" "Energy shields that can deflect any primitive weapon," Kyungmin replied proudly. "Your nuclear weapons could not even scratch our hull plating." Dr. Yongji seemed impressed by these explanations. She asked about crew rotations, shield frequencies, and weapon targeting systems. The Federation officers answered all her questions, enjoying the chance to educate a primitive being about advanced warfare. What they did not realize was that Dr. Yongji had perfect memory recall and was recording every detail for later analysis. Her innocent questions were actually a systematic intelligence gathering operation designed to find weaknesses in Federation technology. Similar exchanges were happening around the world. Human scientists, military officers, and engineers were visiting alien facilities and learning everything they could about Federation capabilities. The aliens saw only eager students trying to understand superior technology. Meanwhile, xenobiologist Suman was conducting her own studies of Earth's ecosystem. President Jiwan had given her unlimited access to study human biology and the planet's other life forms. Suman found the research fascinating but puzzling. "The competitive pressures on this planet are extreme," she reported to Commander Taiho. "Most worlds develop stable ecosystems once intelligence emerges. But Earth's life forms are locked in constant evolutionary warfare." "What do you mean by warfare?" Taiho asked. "Every species seems designed to kill or avoid being killed," Suman explained. "Predators have evolved incredible hunting abilities. Prey species have developed amazing defensive mechanisms. Even plant life shows aggressive competitive behaviors." Taiho found this interesting, but not concerning. "How does this affect the humans?" "That is what puzzles me," Suman admitted. "Humans show no obvious adaptations for this environment. They have weak physical abilities, poor sensory systems, and no natural weapons. Yet they became the dominant species. It makes no evolutionary sense." "Perhaps they were simply lucky," suggested Tactical Officer Minji. "Perhaps," Suman agreed. "But I would like to study their biology more closely. There might be hidden adaptations we have not detected." Commander Taiho approved additional research time. Understanding the humans better could only help with integration planning. He had no idea that Suman's research was about to uncover truths that would change everything. During this learning phase, both sides believed they understood each other perfectly. The Federation saw weak, primitive humans who were impressed by superior technology and eager to join galactic civilization. The humans saw confident aliens who had no real understanding of evolutionary pressure or biological warfare. General Minwoo was coordinating Earth's most secret preparations. Deep underground facilities around the world were being modified and stocked with equipment that had been prepared for decades. The Federation's orbital surveillance could not detect activities happening far below ground. "How long until we are ready?" President Jiwan asked during a secure meeting. 2 more weeks, General Minwoo replied. "We need time to position our assets and verify their technology patterns. Once we begin, there will be no chance to retreat." "And you are certain about their weaknesses?" "Completely certain," the general confirmed. "Dr. Yongji has identified 17 critical vulnerabilities in their ship systems. More importantly, we now understand their biology. They come from sterile worlds with no real predators. They have no immunity to Earth's ecosystem." President Jiwan nodded grimly. "Then we proceed as planned. Activate Phase 7 protocols." Around the world, military commanders received coded messages that had been planned for this moment. Sealed orders were opened. Hidden facilities were activated. Scientists began final preparations on projects that the Federation could not imagine. The learning phase was ending. Soon the aliens would discover what they had really found when they came to Earth. They would learn that humans had not become dominant through luck or technology. They had survived by becoming the most dangerous predators their world had ever produced, and now they were about to meet the other monsters that called Earth home. The Federation patrol landed in what the humans called the Amazon rainforest. Squad leader Junho had volunteered his team for wildlife collection duty. It seemed like an easy assignment compared to the complex political negotiations happening in the cities. "Remember, we are looking for biological samples," Junho told his 5 soldiers. "The xenobiology department wants to study Earth's ecosystem. Nothing dangerous is expected, but maintain standard caution." The forest was unlike anything in Federation experience. Trees stretched impossibly high, creating a green ceiling that blocked most sunlight. Strange sounds echoed from all directions. The air felt thick and humid, carrying scents that their technology could not identify. "Sir, I am detecting a large life form approximately 50 meters ahead," reported scanner technician Minji. "It appears to be some kind of predator, roughly 2 meters long with 4 legs." Junho studied the readings on his portable display, probably similar to the hunting animals from Kepler-7. "We captured those easily enough. Proceed with standard containment protocols." The creature was resting in a patch of sunlight, its spotted coat making it nearly invisible among the shadows and leaves. It had powerful shoulders and legs that suggested speed and strength. Its head was large with prominent jaw muscles. "Definitely a predator," observed Trooper Sungho. "But nothing our armor cannot handle. These primitive Earth animals have never encountered advanced technology." The jaguar was actually hunting something else and had not noticed the alien patrol. It was focused on movement in the canopy above, waiting for the right moment to strike. This level of patient calculation was beyond anything the Federation soldiers expected from a simple animal. Junho activated his stun weapon and approached confidently. The weapon was designed to disable any life form through neural disruption. It had worked perfectly on every world the Federation had conquered. The jaguar noticed them when they were 10 meters away. It turned its head slowly and looked directly at Junho with yellow eyes that showed no fear, only calculation. For a moment, both species studied each other. Then the jaguar moved. Federation sensors were designed to track starships and energy weapons. They were not calibrated for a creature that could accelerate from stillness to 40 kilometers per hour in 2 steps. The jaguar covered 10 meters before Junho could even raise his weapon. The impact drove Junho backwards into a tree. His armor was designed to deflect particle beams and explosive projectiles. It was not designed to resist 4-inch claws backed by muscles that could drag a bull into a tree. The jaguar's jaws clamped down on Junho's helmet and crushed it like soft metal. The other soldiers tried to respond, but the jaguar was already moving again. It struck Trooper Sungho before anyone could fire a shot, then disappeared into the undergrowth before the remaining soldiers could target it. Minji activated her emergency beacon while trying to treat Junho's injuries. The squadron's medic, Youngman, was pulling emergency medical supplies when the jaguar attacked again from a completely different direction. This time, it took down 2 soldiers before vanishing. The creature was not just strong and fast. It was intelligent, using tactics that suggested advanced problem-solving abilities. The 2 surviving soldiers stood back to back, weapons raised, trying to spot movement in the dense forest. They could hear something moving through the trees above them, but their sensors showed nothing. "Where is it?" whispered scanner technician Minji. "I do not know," replied weapons specialist Daehyun. "It moves too fast for our targeting systems." The jaguar dropped from the canopy directly onto Daehyun, killing him instantly. Minji fired wildly at the creature, but it had already melted back into the jungle. She was alone now, surrounded by the bodies of her squad mates. Her final transmission reached the Federation base 30 minutes later. The signal was broken by interference, but the terror in her voice was unmistakable. "All squad members down. Creature is unlike anything in our databases, moving with intelligence and coordination beyond predicted parameters. requesting immediate extraction. Requesting. The transmission ended. Xenobiologist Suman reviewed the patrol's final recordings. In growing horror, the creature had moved faster than Federation targeting systems could track. Its attacks showed planning and tactical awareness that no animal in the galactic database possessed. "This cannot be accurate," she told Commander Taiho. "No simple predator could defeat trained Federation soldiers. Perhaps their equipment malfunctioned," Taiho suggested. "Or they encountered some kind of natural hazard." "Sir, the Jaguar showed behaviors that suggest intelligence equal to sentient species," Suman insisted. "It used the environment tactically, attacked from multiple positions, and seemed to understand our technology's limitations." Taiho found this difficult to believe. The Federation had conquered dozens of worlds. They had faced predators, warriors, and advanced civilizations. No simple animal had ever posed a real threat to properly equipped soldiers. "Send another patrol with heavier equipment," he ordered. "Full battle armor and military-grade weapons. We need those biological samples." The second patrol encountered army ants. 15 million insects moved as a single organism, flowing through the forest like a living river. Each ant was only a centimeter long, but their jaws could cut through synthetic materials. The patrol's armor, designed to resist energy weapons, offered no protection against creatures that could find every joint and seal. The third patrol met a grizzly bear. The fourth patrol found a school of piranha in what seemed like a peaceful river. The fifth patrol was killed by something the Federation database classified as a household spider. Within 1 week, Federation casualties in the Amazon alone reached 300 soldiers. Emergency protocols activated across the alien fleet as Admiral Gisyok tried to understand what was happening. "How is this possible?" he demanded during an emergency briefing. "These creatures have no technology, no weapons, no advanced intelligence. They are simple animals." "Sir, I think we have fundamentally misunderstood this planet," Suman reported. "Every Federation species evolved on worlds where the most dangerous predators were roughly equivalent to what these humans keep as pets. We have no experience with an ecosystem that produces creatures like this." "You are saying that Earth animals are more dangerous than our military forces?" Admiral Gisyok asked. "I am saying that our military forces are designed to fight civilized enemies," Suman replied. "Energy weapons, armored vehicles, and tactical computers. Earth's predators fight in ways we never learned to counter." The Admiral studied casualty reports from around the globe. Patrols were being wiped out by creatures that should not have been able to challenge advanced technology. Tigers that moved like living shadows. Sharks that attacked underwater survey teams. Even swarms of insects that seemed to coordinate their attacks. "What about the humans?" Admiral Gisyok asked. "How do they survive in this environment?" "That is what terrifies me," Suman admitted. "Humans did not just survive here. They became the dominant species. They evolved alongside these creatures and learned to compete with them." For the first time since arriving at Earth, the Federation leadership began to reconsider their assumptions. The humans had seemed weak because they were comparing them to other galactic species, but other galactic species had evolved in safe environments with limited threats. Humans had evolved in hell. "Sir, incoming transmission from the surface," reported Communications Officer Do-hyun. "President Jiwon is requesting an emergency meeting." Admiral Gisyok accepted the transmission. The human leader appeared on screen looking genuinely distressed. "Admiral, we have been monitoring your patrol activities," President Jiwon said. "I must warn you that Earth's wildlife is extremely dangerous. We should have provided better guidance. For your surface operations, why did you not warn us before?" Admiral Gisyok demanded. "We assumed your advanced technology would protect you." President Jiwon replied. "We did not realize that your species lacks experience with biological threats. Please allow us to provide safety protocols for future surface missions." The Admiral felt a chill of realization. The humans were not warning them about danger. They were offering to protect the Federation from their own planet. That could only mean one thing. The humans knew exactly how dangerous their world was. And they had learned to survive in it. President Ji-won stood before the Federation Command Council with an expression of deep concern. Behind her, Dr. Hyung-woo carried data tablets showing footage that made the alien officers shift uncomfortably in their seats. "Admirals, we can no longer guarantee your safety on Earth's surface," President Ji-won said gravely. "The creatures your patrols have encountered represent only a small fraction of our planet's dangerous wildlife." Admiral Gi-seok leaned forward. "Explain." Dr. Hyung-woo activated a holographic display showing various Earth creatures. "These are some of the predators that live in our oceans, forests, and even our cities. We have been trying to protect you from them, but your people keep entering their territories." The images were beyond anything in Federation experience. Massive sharks with teeth like daggers, bears that stood 3 meters tall, cats with claws that could tear through metal, snakes with venom that could kill in seconds, spiders whose bites caused flesh to rot. "How do your people survive alongside these monsters?" asked Admiral Chanju. "We learned," President Ji-won said simply. "Our ancestors spent millions of years fighting creatures that your worst nightmares could not imagine. We became very good at killing things that wanted to kill us." Commander Taiho felt a cold realization growing in his mind. "You are saying that humans evolved as predators. We evolved as survivors," Dr. Hyung-woo corrected. "On most worlds, intelligence develops to solve social problems or build tools. On Earth, intelligence developed to hunt and kill. Every aspect of human biology that you thought was primitive is actually a weapon system." The Federation officers looked at each other with growing alarm. They had dismissed human physical capabilities as weak and inefficient. Now they were learning that those same capabilities were optimized for a kind of warfare they had never encountered. "Our endurance allows us to chase prey until it collapses from exhaustion," Dr. Hyung-woo continued. "Our throwing accuracy lets us kill from distances your species cannot imagine. Our pack coordination makes us more dangerous in groups than as individuals. Most importantly, we think like predators." "What do you mean?" Admiral Gi-seok asked. "We study our enemies. We find their weaknesses. We plan attacks from multiple directions. We use tools and tactics that our prey cannot predict," Dr. Hyung-woo explained. "Your species evolved to negotiate and cooperate. Ours evolved to hunt and kill." At that moment, every human leader around the world received the same coded message. 3 words that activated protocols planned for decades. The monsters awakened. Deep in underground facilities, blast doors opened to reveal projects that had been hidden since first contact began. In the Pacific Ocean, human submarines surfaced, near the Federation base carrying cargo that had been prepared for this moment. Colonel Sung-hee led the first human military unit to move openly against Federation forces. Her soldiers did not march in formation or announce their attack. They moved through the alien base like shadows, using tactics learned from Earth's most successful predators. The Federation guards had energy weapons and advanced armor. They had tactical computers and communication systems that could coordinate responses across multiple positions. None of it mattered against enemies who had learned warfare from creatures that killed Federation patrols without technology. Seung-hee's unit struck from 6 directions simultaneously. They used the base's own structure against the defenders, turning corridors into kill zones and using ventilation systems to bypass security. Within 30 minutes, the entire Pacific facility was under human control. But the real terror began when Dr. Hyung-woo activated Project Darwin. For decades, human scientists had studied their planet's most successful killers. They had learned how army ants coordinated attacks, how viruses adapted to new hosts, how predators evolved to overcome any defense. Now they applied those lessons to create weapons the Federation could not imagine. The first wave hit Federation, ships in orbit. Modified organisms that could survive in vacuum attached themselves to alien hulls and began feeding on the exotic materials of Federation technology. The creatures were based on Earth bacteria, but engineered to thrive in space and reproduce rapidly. Federation crews watched in horror as their ships began to dissolve from the outside. Emergency repairs were impossible because the organisms adapted faster than countermeasures could be developed. Within hours, entire vessels were compromised. "How is this possible?" Admiral Gi-seok demanded. "Biological agents cannot survive in space," Earth's biological agents can, President Jiwan replied calmly. We have been preparing them for this environment for 50 years. They are designed specifically to consume Federation technology. The second wave targeted Federation personnel directly. Airborne viruses engineered from Earth's most aggressive pathogens spread through alien ships faster than medical systems could respond. The Federation had advanced medicine, but they had never encountered diseases that evolved on a world where biological warfare was a natural survival strategy. You are using biological weapons against us, Admiral Giseok accused. We are using Earth's ecosystem against you, President Jiwan corrected. Every creature on our planet is a biological weapon. We simply learned how to direct them. Federation forces tried to retreat to their ships, but human soldiers were already aboard. Colonel Sung-hee's teams had infiltrated alien vessels using the same techniques that allowed early humans to hunt creatures 10 times their size. They worked in coordinated packs, used the ship's systems against its crew, and struck with precision that came from millions of years of evolutionary pressure. The Federation's individual combat superiority meant nothing against tactics developed by the most successful pack hunters in Earth's history. Human soldiers moved through alien corridors like wolves hunting deer, surrounding their prey and attacking from directions that overwhelmed any defense. Admiral Chanju made a desperate decision. All ships, prepare for orbital bombardment. We will destroy their major cities and force them to surrender. But when Federation weapons turned toward Earth's surface, they found targets that were no longer there. Human cities had been evacuated through tunnel systems built over decades. Underground facilities protected millions of people, while surface installations operated automatically to confuse targeting systems. More terrifying was what rose from Earth's oceans. Massive creatures that Federation sensors had dismissed as simple marine life revealed themselves as weapons platforms. Blue whales modified with human technology surfaced near Federation ships. Great white sharks with cybernetic enhancements attacked alien submarines. Admiral, we are detecting massive biological signatures rising from the ocean depths, reported sensor operator Mingyu. They appear to be weaponized sea life. Impossible, Admiral Chanju replied. Sir, one of them just destroyed the cruiser. Stellar wind with what appears to be organic acid projection. President Jiwan's image appeared on Federation screens throughout the fleet. Admiral, you are now fighting not just humanity, but the entire ecosystem of Earth. We have allied ourselves with our planet's greatest predators. They recognize you as prey. Admiral Giseok realized the full scope of their mistake. The Federation had not encountered a primitive species that could be easily conquered. They had found the apex predators of a world that treated survival as warfare. All ships, retreat to the edge of the system, he ordered. We need to warn the Federation Council. But as Federation forces tried to flee, they discovered that Earth's monsters could follow them anywhere. Modified organisms had spread throughout their ships. Human soldiers controlled key systems. Most terrifyingly, the creatures attacking them adapted and evolved in real time, becoming more dangerous with each encounter. The Federation was not retreating from a planet. They were fleeing from a nightmare that had learned to hunt in the darkness between stars. Admiral Giseok's surviving ships limped to the edge of Earth's solar system, trailing clouds of modified organisms that continued eating through their hulls. Of the original invasion fleet of 200 vessels, only 37 remained functional. The rest had been consumed, infiltrated, or destroyed by Earth's impossible biological weapons. Send emergency transmissions to Federation Command, Giseok ordered. Priority Alpha classification. We need immediate reinforcement and containment protocols. Communications Officer Do-hyun worked frantically at his station. Sir, the transmission arrays are compromised. The biological agents have infiltrated our communication systems. I cannot guarantee message integrity. The Admiral felt despair settling over him like a cold weight. Even in retreat, Earth's monsters were still hunting them. The organisms that had attached to Federation ships were not just weapons. They were scouts, spreading through alien technology and sending information back to their human controllers. Sir, incoming transmission from Earth, reported scanner technician G1. Put it through, the Admiral ordered. Captain Do-yun appeared on the screen. He stood on the bridge of a vessel that looked like it had been built from Federation technology, but modified with systems the Admiral did not recognize. Behind him, human crew members operated advanced equipment with the efficiency of experienced warriors. Admiral Gisok, this is Captain Do-hyun of the Earth Defense Force. We are transmitting from our new flagship, built with materials recovered from your disabled vessels. The Admiral stared in shock. You built a starship. We learned. Quickly, Captain Do-hyun replied. Your technology is impressive, but it was designed by species that never learned to adapt under pressure. We have been modifying and improving it for months. What do you want? Admiral Gisok asked. To deliver a message to your Federation command, Captain Do-hyun said. Earth is now under the protection of the Terran Federation. Any future attempts at invasion will be met with force that your civilization cannot imagine. The screen changed to show images that made Federation officers recoil in horror. Human colonies on Mars and the Moon protected by defensive systems that seemed to be alive. Patrol ships whose hulls crawled with organic armor derived from Earth's most successful predators. Weapons platforms that looked like they had grown rather than been built. This is impossible, Admiral Chanju whispered. You cannot have developed interplanetary capabilities so quickly. We had help, Captain Do-hyun explained. Your ships provided excellent raw materials. Your databases taught us about galactic civilization. Most importantly, your biology gave us new organisms to work with. Admiral Gisok felt sick as he realized the implications. You experimented on our people. We learned from them, Captain. Do-hyun corrected. Earth's ecosystem is very good at incorporating new genetic material. Your crew members contributed valuable adaptations to our biological weapons programs. The transmission showed more disturbing images. Hybrid creatures that combined Federation genetics with Earth's most dangerous predators. Weapons that seemed to think for themselves. Most terrifying of all, human soldiers who had been enhanced with capabilities borrowed from both worlds. The galaxy needs to understand something important, Captain Do-hyun continued. Every species you have conquered was defeated because they fought like civilized beings. They used predictable tactics, conventional weapons, and accepted surrender when resistance became impossible. And humans are different? Admiral Gisok asked. Humans are not civilized, Captain Do-hyun replied. We are domesticated predators. We learn to cooperate not through peaceful evolution, but because pack hunters are more successful than individuals. When threatened, we do not surrender. We adapt, evolve, and become more dangerous. The images on screen showed the true scope of Earth's transformation. The planet's entire ecosystem had been mobilized for war. Creatures that had once competed with each other now worked together under human coordination. Forests had become weapons platforms. Oceans teamed with modified predators. Even the atmosphere itself had been weaponized with airborne organisms, designed to attack alien biology. Your Federation conquered peaceful species, Captain Do-hyun explained. But Earth is not peaceful. We are a planet of monsters that learn to work together. And now we know that the galaxy is full of prey species that never learned to fight real predators. 6 months later, the Federation response fleet arrived to find Earth's solar system transformed into a fortress. Human colonies on every planet and moon bristled with defensive systems that seemed to be alive. Patrol ships moved through space, like schools of metallic sharks, their hulls covered with organic sensors that could detect threats across impossible distances. Most disturbing was the diplomatic message waiting for them. Ambassador Youngmin appeared on their screens from the bridge of a vessel, whose hull seemed to pulse with its own heartbeat. Behind her stood human crew members, whose eyes held the cold calculation of apex predators. Welcome to the Sol system, Ambassador Youngmin said with a polite smile. We are the Terran Federation, and we would like to establish formal diplomatic relations with your Galactic Trade Federation. Admiral Wansuk, commander of the response fleet, studied the readings from his sensors. The human ships registered as biological organisms rather than mechanical constructs. Their weapon systems were unidentifiable, their defensive capabilities beyond Federation understanding. What are your terms? He asked. Simple, Ambassador Youngman replied. recognition of Terran space as sovereign territory, establishment of trade agreements that benefit both civilizations, and most importantly, acknowledgement that Earth is now a galactic power. And if we refuse? Ambassador Jungmin's smile never wavered, but her eyes showed the same predatory calculation that had made humans the dominant species on Earth. Then you will learn what happened to the species that tried to make Earth their prey. The screen showed images of the Federation's first invasion fleet, ships that had been converted into breeding grounds for Earth organisms, technology that had been absorbed and improved by creatures that treated survival as evolution. Most chilling of all, Federation personnel who had been integrated into Earth's ecosystem and emerged as something new and terrifying. We hope that will not be necessary, Ambassador Jungmin continued. Humans prefer cooperation to conflict, but we are very good at conflict when cooperation fails. Admiral Wonsock realized that the Federation faced a choice that would determine the future of galactic civilization. They could accept Earth as an equal partner, or face a species that had turned an entire planet into a weapon. The decision was not difficult. The Federation had conquered through technological superiority and tactical advantage, but Earth had something they had never encountered before. Earth had monsters that learned, adapted, and evolved faster than any military force could counter. 3 days later, the Galactic Trade Federation officially recognized the Terran Federation as an equal member of galactic civilization. Trade agreements were signed, cultural exchange programs were established, territorial boundaries were respected. But in private communications, Federation leaders sent warnings to every civilized world in known space. Earth was no longer a target for conquest. It was a quarantine zone containing the most dangerous predators the galaxy had ever produced, species that had learned to survive in hell and emerge stronger than anything the universe had created before. The humans called themselves a peaceful species. They offered friendship, trade, and cooperation to anyone willing to treat them as equals. But they had proven something that would echo through galactic history for millennia to come. Earth did not produce victims. Earth produced monsters, and the greatest monsters of all were the ones that called themselves human.